What is often referred to as intuition or gut feeling is often our brains attempting to work out what is the best option when faced with limited information and coming up with the most likely or probable outcome. Our brains sort through the available information, give different weight to each piece of information, and then come up with a solution. It's often done extremely rapidly and without consciously going through each of the options before arriving at a solution. And often these intuitive thoughts are actually correct. However, because there may be a key piece of information missing, it is possible to make an error with your intuition. The actual solution may even appear to be counterintuitive because the solution doesn't make sense without that key piece of evidence. One example of this, which is often done as school experiment in chemistry lessons, is with a metallic element called magnesium. The experiment is relatively simple. You weigh the magnesium, you ignite the magnesium, and then you weigh it once the magnesium has been burned. And when you burn magnesium, it produces a lot of heat, some really bright flames. When young students are asked what they will think will happen to the weight of the magnesium, often their intuition will tell them that magnesium must be lighter after having been burned. However, magnesium is an element, and when you ignite it, it forms magnesium oxide, the oxygen binding to the magnesium as it combusts. This means that the new magnesium compound is now heavier than it was beforehand. Without this key piece of information about what is actually happening chemically to the magnesium, it's easy for your intuition to be fooled. And it's in the only place where this happens. Water molecules can evaporate, increasing the humidity of air. So an intuitive thought might be that the air with high levels of humidity will be heavier than the air with less humidity, and therefore will sink towards the ground. However, the water molecules aren't soaked into the air like when your clothes get wet and heavy. Instead, the water molecules are water vapor, and as such take up room in the air, displacing the oxygen and nitrogen atoms that make up most of the air. Now, water is two light hydrogen atoms and one oxygen atom. Oxygen in our air is actually two oxygen atoms together. The nitrogen, again, is two nitrogen atoms. It means that water vapor is lighter than the other two major gases in our atmosphere. When you think about it more closely, water vapor would have to be light enough to rise in our atmosphere in order for clouds to form. Another piece of counterintuition happened during World War II, involved bomber aircraft being damaged by enemy fighter aircraft and anti-aircraft guns. It's noted that some aircraft were coming back with extremely large holes in the bombers. The RAF wanted to put more armour where these holes were in an attempt to protect the bombers. However, statisticians from the Statistical Research Group suggested actually doing the exact opposite. The statisticians assumed that the aircraft would in general receive damage fairly evenly across the whole of the plane. Now, those aircraft that were able to return with holes in them were the ones that were hit in the areas that were less vulnerable or less vital for the aircraft's survival. The aircraft that didn't return were those that were hit in the vulnerable or vital locations. Now, those missing locations were the ones that should be given enhanced protection. So all this means that while intuition can be really useful, in order to make the best use of it, you have to have as much information and experience on a subject as possible before that intuition is actually applied to a subject.